a non-issue here going on in this game. And there you go, Yorick, Alistar, Shen. Those are going to be in the next few. Here's the thing though, Curse banning out the Karthus. They have to leave a few chances that they've banned out before open. Rumble's open. Maokai was a previous ban, so Rumble and Malphite are actually open here. They can grab either one here.
Yeah, and so we'll see what they're going to pick up. Akali being banned out, Shen as well. There are a couple of strong picks here that have worked for them well in the past. But I don't know, we'll have to see. We'll be right back in the champ select for a second here. But TSM, looking phenomenal. I don't know that you can allow Chaos to have that Corki pick, though, because he's been absolutely unstoppable with Corki. He's able to control the lanes very effectively, been able to put on a lot of pressure in the game.
Yeah, so, yeah, and we've been seeing a lot, actually a lot of, champs like Shen and Alistar very, very, very aggressive junglers, especially that Alistar.
Yeah.
That Alistar has been a huge menace just the entire weekend.
Yeah, so, Alistar for a long time has been an incredibly strong pick. He's just so versatile, support jungle, but the jungling presence that he has is phenomenal. He can easily win team fights for himself. He doesn't need a lot of gold, so we'll see, where they go from there. But in the meantime, we do see some of these picks. Vladimir going on the West Rice has been a pick that they've liked so far this weekend, but Xpecial actually going with that Blitzcrank once again, and they get the Nunu as well. That provides a lot of that frontline control we saw in the last game, which prevents Curse from going with that aggression. They need to pick up the Corki now because they can't go ahead with the Graves against the Nunu comp. The Nunu can just easily shut down Graves as the game progresses.
Day 2, Curse has first picked Vlad in all but 2 of their games today. All but 2, and the rest of those other games are actually like Morgana, the preference.
Yeah, no, it is a very strong pick. It allows them to send that 2v1 top. He is a very strong pick in the top lane. There are a number of champions that do very well against Vladimir. Aurelia and Rumble being number 1 and 2. But Curse, I would love to see this AoE and Elements going to be going with the Sona. I remember back in a time, there it is, the Amumu as well on St. Vicious.
Wait, is it Zingy here somewhere? Is he? No? No. But yeah, there you go. You got the Sona, you got the Amumu. But it's Amumu though. Amumu more than likely going to be going up again. The Amumu Nunu. Amumu Nunu. The Nunu. That's really hard to say, really fast. But Nunu does have a little bit more of a faster clear speed. Trolling us.
Yeah, and once again, Chaos has that Corki. Morgana now going on to Reginald, so we'll see how Curse tries to counter this out. They have a great AoE team if they go with someone aggressive in the mid lane. Nijaki going with that Zyra will definitely be a really strong comp, having that double AP. However, Veigar, I like it what I'm seeing. We have to have it.
He's smiling about it. I think he's considering it, and Veigar works. I would say Veigar works in quite a few comps, but it's Nijaki. It's not Jackie on Veigar. It's him. Like Basil just. Okay. Actually, you're gonna go. Zyra's still good, dude. Zyra's still good
very strong. But we've seen Curse in the past and recently as well, running that Sona with the Veigar. It is a very strong comp, and running with the Zyra, it's very similar. They have great poking potential. They have great kiting potential as well. So the movement speed from Sona, along with the snare from Zyra, they're very defensive. It prevents some of that aggression from TSM. They have nice range as well. Not going with the Graves in this game because that would have been a really dangerous pick. It would have been almost impossible against TSM's top. Going with the Kog'Maw, which we haven't seen in a while. Now Vladimir in that top lane. We'll see if we see that KO pick, or actually Rumble.
Rumble's
Rumble
open.
Isn't banned. Rumble is a hard counter to Vladimir, and Dyrus is looking forward to this matchup.
Yeah, Rumble did escape the bans, but he can go a lot of places too. So with that though, we got the Kog'Maw. That Kog'Maw, one of the big problems there for Curse, the last game, Graves, he just could not get in. He could not get in. He could not get his damage. Kog'Maw does resolve, actually, a lot of that difficulty.
Yeah, and the late game presence for Kog'Maw can be phenomenal. He has the CC to protect him. He has the movement speed as well, so it's going to be kind of difficult for TSM to engage upon him. In the bottom lane, though, Corki can put on some pressure, but Cop should be okay. The range for Kog'Maw, once he hits 5s, once he hits 6 as well, Kog'Maw is a very safe lane. However, Corki outranges Kog'Maw when the W is down. Kog'Maw's attack range is actually only 500 without the W proc, so we'll have to see how well he can farm.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw down there, when he's in bot lane, he's got to hit 6. He's got to hit 6. He's got to have his artillery. He's got to make sure that he can actually go ahead and get that damage in from afar to actually just do everything that Kog'Maw does.
Yeah, and the big thing is TSM, they have the Morgana. They have a lot of great early presence. Morgana will help keep Corki alive in the back line. They won't have to worry about Chaos. He's going to have plenty of damage to follow up on it. But it also allows Reginald to be extremely aggressive. We've seen some of that roaming from Reginald in the past. He can farm in the mid lane, get up that super farm status that we've seen from him with the Karthus, but also be able to control those early fights. So it's going to be an exciting game, but having the double AP, and Morgana actually also pairs very well with Rumble as well, because Rumble's mid-game damage is phenomenal, but he's actually very squishy. Morgana helps negate some of that fact, will protect Rumble in that back line.
Yep, and in Rumble, once again, we've talked about before too. When he's in the lane, level 4. That's the magic number. Yep. That's the magic number. That's the magic number for Rumble. As long as he hits 4, as long as he's fine, he can get that farm. He's fine. He's okay.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how TSM can pressure this and whether or not Curse can come back from this. Curse, their late game is going to be phenomenal. And again, the kiting for Sona has been so strong. Having Vladimir and having Cog, they can easily win any team fight as long as they control it appropriately. Zyra will allow them to get into that late game, though, because with the Sona and the Zyra, they do have that kiting potential. We'll see how they can run it, but definitely liking both of these teams.
Yep. Sona also just the most common support for Curse for the entire weekend, not just today, just the entire weekend. And Elements has really been favoring that Sona, and he's been to pretty good success too.
No, and I remember back with CLG when Elements always played Sona, the joke was that Elements would always miss on his ultimates, but we haven't seen that. He's been fantastic with Curse, really stepping up this weekend. All of Curse has looked really strong, so we'll be able to see how they can respond. The AoE is phenomenal. They provide so much protection for Cog. It's really a protect the Cog while comp. If Cop gets farmed, they're going to be very strong. Having the cleanse as well is going to be very nice for Cop, so we can try and counter out some of that aggression from TSM. However, if he gets hit by a bind, if he gets hit by a hook, he could go down very quickly.
Yep. But it seems that KX may actually also be going for that cleanse as well. Westrice, once again, the heal, the flash wants to sustain, just wants to stay in lane, just wants to farm longer. But I'm still concerned because you do Mumu and Nunu. Nunu's a little bit faster. And also, that granted, there were a few tweaks actually to Mumu recently. He's not as reliant on blue buff. They did actually reduce the mana on his tantrum. But it still helps a lot. And if Curse gets invaded really on, if they lose their blue, it could still be devastating.
And that's a serious threat because TSM, they have Morgana, they have Blitzcrank, and they have Nunu. So really aggressive level 1 team for TSM. The Mumu, on the other hand, he's basically worthless level 1. If you go for the bandage toss, you're really setting yourself behind. You can go for it. You can pick up some kills and can be advantageous. However, you're really throwing behind your jungle. So we'll see how they're going to pressure this if TSM goes for an early invade. But Curse probably going to look for some early wards from Elements, then maybe try and figure out where TSM is going.
Yeah, and just even put them at enemy rates if you can. Maybe get some in the river over by their blue buff just to make sure they have vision, just so they can secure it, just so they can be safe. That's all anyone really wants, just to be safe and just get your level 2, get your first buff.
All right, so there we have it, guys. Let's cut over to our team's Curse. In TSM, game number 2, really for all intents and purposes, game number 3, TSM up 2-0 right now in this best of 5.
If TSM wins this one, they win the whole thing. They will be victorious and go ahead and go home with how much money is it?
It's $20,000. $20,000. So nice, but also exerting their dominance on the NA scene as they have done for so long. Curse, on the other hand, they're looking to pick up some momentum coming into the Season 2 championships and the NA regionals, and it's something that they haven't done in quite some time, been in contention for winning a tournament.
Yeah, and granted, there's also the standing points, the circuit points as well, but I think TSM has plenty of those, though. Granted, it's going to be nice to go ahead and just be even further down the leaderboard. But it's a nice little boost to the ego as well.
Yeah, and as we get in here, guys, once again, check out Twitter, IGN Pro League, IPLLO, Facebook.com/IGN Pro League. We'll be throwing up some links. There is a $50 RP giveaway, so we're running that currently, but check out some of the other stuff that we provide. Also, YouTube.com/IPLLOL.
Everyone's got their boots. Expression wants to make sure that he's in position to go ahead and get that grab wherever he needs it. But you do have Sona. keep Special still just for a little bit. Ward going down at the blue buff, and TSM, for now, though, they have the superior position. Are they going to leave, or are they going to stick around? They could also stick around in that tri-brush there. If they wait, if they just bide their time there, they could actually have a really, really huge surprise for Curse coming in. But I think there's going to be, they're fine. They got what they wanted. They got the ward. They got the invade. They've put the fear into Curse, and they're just going to go ahead and leave it.
Yeah, and there's 3 wards for TSM currently. They're actually going to pull the blue over the wall. So the big thing is they know that Curse doesn't have an opportunity to go to their blue. They know Amumu is still down by their blue, but they have the ward to watch out for it. There's the pull, and Amumu is going to lose this. He doesn't have enough time to respond, so
he's already gone.
We'll be able to hold on to that E, but there is the quick pickup. Odd One grabbing that blue.
Best snack ever. That was the best snack that Odd One could hope so early on, just to go ahead and steal that blue. And he's just dancing around him. He's like, yeah, I got it. What are you going to do about it?
And both
Nothing.
TSM and Curse are setting their bot lanes up top, so they will be countering out each other a little bit. X-Special might be able to get that hook over the wall, waiting for that level 2. Element's a little bit out of position, but won't actually go for it. So we'll see how they can continue to press that. In the meantime, Vladimir versus Rumble in the bottom lane. Every single time that Vladimir goes in for a transfusion, as Rumble gets a couple levels, like once he hits around level 4 or so, he's going to be able to exchange damage very effectively. And Rumble's damage output easily crushes Vladimir.
Most junglers, when they go in for counter jungles, when they go in for invades, they're somewhat stealthy. Just want to go ahead and take the brushes. They want to be in the shadows. Not Odd One. He first he steals the blue, walks right down, and is like, yeah, look what I got. Then he goes down through the lane, grabs the blue wraith, and comes right back around. He's like, hey, guess where I've been? And he's actually still around. He's still floating around here in enemy jungle, actually maybe even stealing the red as well. Dyra's going to help out just a little bit with the flame spitter. There is the ward there. Curse does know about it, but it's, again, already gone.
Yeah, they're able to take that very easily, and half of it has to do with the fact that the bot lane is up top. Westright's going to get some damage on the Dyrus, not really a big of a deal. But Odd One, he's able to take it very easily, and not having to worry about a 2-man gank onto him, he's a little bit safer. Vladimir and Amumu, they don't have the damage right now, so Nunu, he can be extremely aggressive because of that lane swap.
Yep, and St. Vicious, he's without a blue, he's without a red, he's without a lot of stuff, and Odd One just go ahead, get his own blue, be even further ahead, and St. Vicious, he's not really going to be going for any aggressive invades here onto the buffs of TSM. He's not quite, the strongest at getting those stealing those buffs, especially that far early on. Might actually recruit Cop just to go ahead for a little bit of help, or even Elements. That grab, almost grabbing there, but Elements could also just escort Amumu actually on over through to red, try and put down a little bit of damage here, but that's going to be putting top lane actually much more behind.
Yeah, they can zone them a little bit, so that's going to be extremely aggressive against Cop. Blitzcrank is a very strong matchup against Sona, and Cog and Sona, it used to be a very strong lane. It still is actually pretty strong because of the harass that you can get. You have a lot of range poke damage. However, Blitzcrank, one hook, you're basically done with the Corki. Like, that's just too much kill potential for them to deal with. So we'll see how they can kind of sit back. Cop needs to get that farm. One of the nice benefits for Kog'Maw is you can start off with an unusual build like the Wriggles and Phantom Dancer before like a BF sword. We've seen that a lot in the past because of the damage output you're going to get from his W and the fact that his team actually has such great early game damage. So the early game damage and AoE that Curse has will allow Cop to push back his item build a little bit. They won't be quite so dependent on him being extremely farmed early in the game.
And also great positioning behind the minions. Just make sure it's like, okay, you got this huge wall of things that you're going to grab before you ever grab me with that hook. So X-Special just back off there. He's trying to get his angles, but unfortunately he cannot, especially against that. And Odd One just... He is Odd One right now is just raiding Curse's fridge.
Oh, but Dyrus going in for a kill. Westrice will be able to back off. The Ignite going down, and so Dyrus just zoning him out of that lane will be able to prevent him from farming. So really nice pressure. But I love what Odd One. I'm sorry, Dyrus in the bot lane. I love what Odd One has been doing so far because it is harkening back to that old counter jungling Nunu that we've seen in the past. His Nunu is incredibly aggressive. He's able to take those early advantages.
St. Vicious just has to go back down to. He has to go down to bot, try and just sap some experience and gold off of the wave that Dyrus is pushing on in, and the swap is actually going to happen back. Elements and Cop actually making their way on down. Saint just killing enough time for them to arrive, and you're Saint still without buffs. He's going to be a little bit slower, and Odd One, he's got both of them. First stealing curses, and then taking his own, going to secure himself here. Get into that top brush, but I believe that ward in the river, just barely on the edge.
Yeah, and the big thing right now for TSM is actually Morgana going in on Desire at the bottom. And Nijacking actually throwing up the Ignite as well. St. Vicious coming over the wall, can't follow up on it. But the big thing for TSM right now is they're winning their lane matchups. And having a 1k gold advantage without any kills currently this early in the game, Corki is dominating COG in CS, but Vladimir is also extremely low, just now hitting 15 CS. Common Elements, by transitioning bottom, they open up some free farm time. They give themselves an opportunity to farm a little bit more easily, and they can harass down Rumble a little bit.
Top lane is just completely unchecked. Chaos is having the day of his life. This is the easiest time ever. I get to sit here and I can just shoot minis, no pressure, nothing whatsoever. Okay, sure, why not? And you do have the ward actually coming down onto Curse's blue. Special wandered on down, put that there. So, and it's a pink ward at that, because they want to make sure they're gonna be going for that steal once again. They want to be sure that they can secure it, make sure that no one is seeing it.
Yeah, and that's really what TSM's been looking for right now. They're not looking for aggressive engages because that's not what Nunu provides. He doesn't provide those early kills. They're looking to just win the lane matchups and then counter jungle very effectively to get that early gold advantage. In the meantime, Kaox can do very well against Westrise. He has a level 1 or a 1 level advantage, and TSM is transitioning into that blue. It is a 4v3 potentially for that engage. Yeah,
Kaox, he's coming down as well. Westrise not quite 6 yet. Does not have the ult. He's not going to be able to get all that extra damage coming on in. You do have Zyra though putting down those seedlings, trying to get those turrets up, trying to get something. Najaki is the hook coming on in. Zyra is caught. That's a lot of damage. You'll come in, gonna get the pop up, but it's too late there. You got the kill. Chaos gonna get very low though, but the Zyra passive can only do so much. Saint Vicious is gonna get caught in the bind. Gonna have to try and 2v4 this, but you're not gonna get a whole lot of success there. Westrise can't get the kill onto Special while in retreat though. He will actually get to his tower, but TSM, that is mission accomplished.
Yeah, the early game presence is phenomenal. Reginald going in, wearing down Westrise some more. They will be able to grab up that blue. Dyrus, in the meantime, he's perfectly comfortable in that bottom lane, farming ahead of Kog'Maw right now. A lot of it has to do with the pressure he had against Vladimir, but there's the ultimate kind of clearing the way.
Yeah, he just wants to clear the way.
I was looking somewhere else, I heard it, and I was like, oh dear God, is he going in for the kill? But they will be able to back off. And the big thing is TSM, they have a very, very strong early game team with Morgana in the mid lane. They can pick up those early kills. Reginald, he still has his ultimate, so they can continue to pressure Curse and throw them further and further behind.
We're going to see the swap once again at Chaos and Special now heading down bot lane to look and exert their dominance here once again. And it's just going to be a very limited time for Cop to go ahead and try and get whatever farm he can. You do got Westrise back up there in top lane. How is he doing on farms? 30? How much has Dyrus got? He's got double. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's basically the story so far. Now, Curse, on the other hand, TSM, they've been very aggressive, moving around as a team, trying to take these advantages. If Curse can sit back and farm and not lose up any kills against TSM, they can maybe exchange. But Dyrus with the great damage, and that's how strong Rumble is in that lane. And Chaos, once again, coming into the bot lane. Cop should have enough range, though. He should be able to farm pretty successfully. If Curse can try and stall out the laning phase for a significant period of time. But we'll see. TSM, they're going to want to continue to pressure these objectives. The blue's still not cleared for Curse. But, Curse, they have nice wave clearing. Nijaki, if he starts putting some pressure on the mid lane and pushing up against Reginald, it's going to prevent some of that aggression.
There you go. St. Fish is realizing, oh, man, it's gone. What else can I do? Not a whole lot. It's rough. It's rough going for the Amumu.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy being Amumu, guys. It's not. Crying all the time, tripping over your own bandages, it's rough.
And he has no friends.
And he has no friends. But that's beside the point.
Odd one, he's got the friends all built in, and he's actually going to be going for this dragon. Chaos coming up as well. And Curse, in the meantime, they can't really force these fights just because of TSM's early advantages. So they're going to have to allow those dragons to go down. And they also can't pressure the lanes. So, we'll see how they continue with this. Reginald, in the meantime, zoning them off. They pick that up very easily. Now it is a 3K gold lead currently.
3K gold lead. On the 11th minute, the Amumu was still not 6, which is a very, very important thing to have. And there you go, St. Vicious, finally getting his first buff of the game.
Nice cause for celebration there. That red buff's sure going to do a lot, but we'll see. He is level 6 as well. That opens up some killing opportunities. The issue is where are they going to get those kills. Morgana is very safe in the mid lane. They could maybe force some things against Rumble. However, if you miscalculate a Rumble engage very easily, he can turn that into a double kill. Dyrus can exchange that. He will be very safe. And that's the big thing is TSM. They're able to put on a lot of pressure, but still be safe while doing it. So we'll see where Saint goes from there. I think if Nijaki starts to push down the mid lane, though, a little bit more at the bind from Reginald, just barely not hitting. If Nijaki puts some pressure on the mid lane pushes, he can maybe try roaming himself, try and pick up some kills with that Zyra ultimate.
You see Dyrus, he was waiting in that bush just for a little while, just to make sure that the creeps are neutral. Because remember, West Rice's splash is actually still down. If Dyrus actually didn't use that ult earlier to clear the wave down bottom, he could have actually gotten the kill on that last engage there top. But even then, though, with just such a huge farm lead, he can just bully around West Rice all he wants. 2-level lead. 2-level lead Dyrus has.
Yeah, it's making it extremely difficult for West Rice to farm. He does have that Negatron cloak early on, so that's going to be really nice to help protect him in that lane. But we'll see if he has to, force himself into a late gold pretend or something. It is kind of late. St. Vicious coming down to the bot lane. I think the ward spotted him out, and Element's actually not able to kill it, so he will have to back off.
Yep, so that mutually warded bush down there in the bot lane. Reggie trying to get some binds, not going to happen. Nightjackie's actually got a 1-level disadvantage himself. So this every single lane here from TSM, they're just winning. And it's really rough to be in a position like that if you're a team jungler, especially if you're already so far behind yourself.
And a lot of it has to do with the pressure that Ottawa's been putting around the map. Wards all over the place
everywhere.
The entire time.
Look at the coverage top lane.
It really is phenomenal. And having those gold pretends, I really enjoyed one of the posters out there. First you get the gold pretends, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Yes.
And Ottawa, he's running around the map, able to pressure it. Morgana going to be able to grab this blue, and we'll see how Curse can respond. They might need to get into early oracles. The only concern is that St. Vicious, if he gets that, he's going to be very vulnerable to TSM's frontline damage.
Yeah, get oracles with what money? With what? You got your first buff at 11 minutes. There's not a whole lot of money. There's not a whole lot of gold flow there.
Yeah, and Odd1 is very far ahead in that respect, so we'll see. He does have a double gold pretend. St. Vicious setting up in the bottom lane, though, wants to be able to force this fight. They have the double AoE. The only concern is that there's the Blitzcrank power shield they have to deal with, and Chaos also has a lot of survivability with the Valkyrie.
But St. Vicious is finally 6, though. He does have that. But Elements, you saw the movement speed buff. You saw it go backwards. Granted, TSM may not have vision. They did see. You can see those effects actually going backwards. And realize, oh, someone else is there. We may just want to go ahead and back off just a little bit.
Yeah, so they will go back, but it is now a 4K gold advantage, just 13 minutes in for TSM, and Curse's late game is absolutely phenomenal, but they have to get through the mid game, and TSM's early and mid game is just so strong. That's really where Rumble is going to peak. Late on in the game, he's going to struggle against the team that Curse has. Dyrus is going to be sitting in the back lines. They're going to have the AoE CC to shut him down, and then Cog will very easily be able to take him out. However, in the mid game, once he gets some early damage, he's going to be very strong. We'll see if he decides to go with that kind of spell pen build that we've been seeing a lot. He does have the Ruby Crystal, so going with that Haunting Guise, it will make him incredibly difficult to deal with in the mid game. And also because Cog doesn't have a lot of mobility, the Equalizer on Rumble can completely shut down his backline damage.
And you also saw there, West Rice, he pushed the minion wave. He could have actually decided to just go a little bit further and farm, but he's like, you know what? He's respecting Dyrus at this point. He knows he just cannot go toe-to-toe, despite the fact he still has his heal, that he has his flash. He's like, you know what? There's no way I'm getting out of this if I commit. There's nothing.
And right now, Xpecial zoning out Cogma won't allow him to farm, and so Cog in that lane, 30 CS behind Chaos currently, while Rumble in the top lane, 50 CS ahead of West Rice. Dyrus just completely shutting him out of the lane, and West Rice really struggling. The blue is going to respawn shortly, though. It was kind of late, so they got it around 12:15, but because those mini golems were up for a while, it is a very late blue, but we'll see if TSM can grab this.
Dyrus is here, and he also got the Oracles there onto Odd1, trying to look at Curse. They know that this is going to be happening. Xpecial just actually pulling the blue buff, but Curse is actually right nearby. You got the buffs coming in, you got the ults, the Sona, and the Amumu. Xpecial is on front, going to be taking a lot of damage. Wester's coming in with the ult. St. Vicious is the first one to go down, but there you go. The Blitz also on Dyrus in the back. Does have the flash. The Kog'Maw cannot get very close. One more. No, we cannot close the gap. That is a 1-for-1 there, and Elements actually there with the blue.
But the big thing is that Curse is starting to put some pressure on the TSM, and in that fight, they had all 5 of their members there. They expected that TSM was going to be going for that blue steal, so they were waiting for them, and that's exactly what Curse needs to do in order to get back into this game. They need to put some pressure back on the TSM. Chaos, though, in the meantime, he's going to be able to get down that bottom turret. That's going to allow him to transition to some of the other lanes. However, Curse, with the engage advantage, TSM, because they're trying to take the blue, they're all clumped up into a small AoE in that rush, and Curse was able to follow up with it. So in the meantime, they will back off, but we'll have to see how they can continue pressuring there.
But in a situation like that, it is still a disadvantage for Curse. When you're in a position like that, you're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and grab the buff. I don't care who gets it, as long as they don't get it. Elements did grab it, and this is going to let him, while in the bot lane, bang his head on his keyboard just a little bit more.
Yeah, so we'll see how Curse can control this. Unfortunately, Element's getting the blue, not one of the other members. But actually, if we take a look back at that, while we have a second, we can look at that replay. And it started off with Xpecial, with the bind, but the follow-up AoE from Curse, easily taking them down, bursting them very quickly. Very fortunate that TSM was able to get out of there because they went down so quickly. But Curse, because they're a little bit behind, they were actually only able to take down one. And the big thing was, Odd One, with the Absolute Zero, he was able to stop Curse from pursuing. And then Morgana with the shield, the snare as well. So they're able to force them back. So we'll see how Curse is going to be continuing in this game. They are going for that dragon now. TSM picking that up. They have the early advantages, and Dyrus can head back up into the top lane.
The 17th minute, 6K gold lead now after that dragon is quite a healthy lead to have here before the 20-minute mark. And TSM also looking to push down the mid. You got a pretty huge presence on there. They might actually just be able to take the tower at 4-man push actually here. And there you go, Kiak's going to go ahead and take out that tier 1 Westrice. Actually being chunked out huge here by Dyrus in the top lane. The ult is up for Dyrus, but he's not going to use it. He's just going to play it safe, keep the farm, and you go back and you're happy in the fact that he's managed to push Westrice out of the lane just for a little bit.
Yeah, and you saw the pressure that Dyrus was pressing. He actually was sitting in the brush, charging up his passive so that he could get that bonus damage and exchange even more aggressively with Westrice. That either forces Westrice to pull or take a couple of hits to the face. Now TSM, they are pressuring down that top lane. They will be able to force Westrice back. They might actually get the hook if he turns back into him. It's special a little bit out of there, but they will be able to continue pressuring him. While Chaos, he's actually split pushing the bottom lane, and right now, because he's so far ahead of Cog, right now he's 50 CS ahead, it allows him to zone out Cog, and he can continue pushing. Cog won't be able to farm, but that split push will be very strong for TSM.
TSM knows where Curse is right now. They actually have, look at that ward right there, right by the tri-brush. Just a little bit of a peek, and they know we cannot go for this dive. We cannot go for this tower. It is way too dangerous. Just a whole bunch of AoE awaits us if we go in for this dive, and it could really turn around. TSM, they have this lead. They just want to hold on to it. They just want to hold on to it. It's 7K. That's huge.
Yeah, and recognizing so many members were bot, it did allow KX to be a little bit more aggressive in that bot lane. He did lose vision of Zyro for a second, so backing off there, he's going to be fine. Going to be able to finish off the Triforce. So 2-0 and 180 CS at 18 minutes into the game. Chaos, he is at 6,900 gold compared with Cog only at 4,200. So almost a 3K gold advantage on Chaos right now. That means that if Chaos continues to split push in that bottom lane, Cop will be completely shut out of this game.
Okay. And also just look at the rest of how TSM is itemizing there. You do have that Haunted guys there onto Rumble. That's all that spell pen. In addition to the boots, you also have the Hourglass there on Reggie, on Morgana. That's those initiations. We mentioned it last time. Just be right in the middle of those fights. You get the ult, you get the Hourglass, and just secure a stun, and hopefully at least somebody.
Yeah, and Chaos actually starting off, he grabs that, but there's Xpecial coming in on the Westrice. Dyrus has the damage, backs off for a second, but the exhaust from Xpecial, the hook back, the ultimate. Westrice is backing out of there, but Dyrus has enough damage. The Ignite is able to take it down, and in the meantime, Chaos being chased down in the bottom lane. St. Vicious can't land the bind as Chaos gets that Valkyrie out of there.
No bandage going to be happening there onto Corki, but with that kill top lane, Dyrus and Xpecial going to go ahead and take that tier 1. All tier 1s are down for Curse, and the push continues here. You see Rumble and Blitz still staying up top, and Dyrus is like, I'm not being pressured, and look at the ward, and just the ward coverage is sufficient for Dyrus to be safe.
Absolutely incredible. And Chaos, he picked up 3 wards on his last trip back because he knew he did want to split push, but all of TSM going for those wards. In the meantime, Morgana chasing down St. Vicious, gets off the bind, the ultimate underneath the turret, but he has the shield to get out of there, but there's the flash ultimate from Elements, isn't able to hit Reginald, so they're able to back off.
Yep, hey, that's two elements. No, that's two ults used there from Curse in exchange just for the one coming in from Reggie. So it's a pretty good trade actually. And those are also the main sources of initiation coming in from Curse. Granted, you also have the Zyro ult, but it takes a little bit of time. That's kind of icing on the cake if you can manage to get it.
And it is an 8K gold lead currently for TSM, so extremely far ahead if they can start to pressure some objectives. But Curse, with the AoE clear that they have and with the range that Cog has, they can cancel out some of these pushes from TSM. They can stall them pretty easily, and then also if TSM is looking for a Baron, then Curse can engage on them. So we'll see how TSM tries to pressure this. After a couple minutes, probably around like the 23 or 24 minute mark, we'll start to see if TSM probably pressure the Baron and actually just bait out a fight.
And you saw also last game Westrice, he was a little bit away from the rest of the team, trying to get free farm whenever he could, but now it's just like, well, you probably last game you're like, oh, you got someone coming up from Rev, I can still stay here for a little while longer, getting one more more kill or two, one more creep. But the moment he saw Dyrus coming up as Rumble up through that top river, he's like, ah, crap, okay, fine, I'll get away.
Yeah, not a very happy camper right now, but in the meantime, Zyra and Hijack are doing a really nice job holding off that mid lane, but the split push from both Chaos and Dyrus is really shutting down the carries, and if you look right now, Chaos 200 CS compared with 140 for COG, compare that with Rumble and Vladimir, he's also 50 CS ahead, so continuing to be ahead right now when they have the early game advantage. Rumble getting that Abyssal Scepter as well will be phenomenal for the damage for both Corki and Morgana. In the meantime though, Curse, they're going to be able to grab this blue.
Finally.
Elements won't be able to have to grab this one. So, nice job from them. Blitz coming in, won't be able to grab it in time.
TSM, a little bit opposition for that one, but there you go. Curse finally also securing a blue for themselves without having to go through so much freaking panic just to try and grab it. No blitz hooks or anything of that nature. Just go ahead, find a simple blue buff for once.
And one of the nice things with COG at this point, even though Chaos is so far ahead, COG has the range where he's actually going to be pretty safe to farm. Chaos, he would have to dive a turret in order to shut him down. So top, he can continue to farm in that bottom lane, and as long as Curse doesn't lose a lot of pressure in the other lanes, it will help slow out the game a little bit and get him into that item build. He is very close. He actually has the Infinity Edge sitting back for him in the base, so he's going to be able to grab that, and Cop going to be picking up this red buff, so that's going to be phenomenal for their damage.
And so look at the ward coverage that actually Curse has actually on their own side, at their own, by their red. It's a pretty good. Oh, look, you got West Race, he's getting very low, is ignited. Dyrus did use the ult earlier, but that's plenty of damage, and you're going along with the mini push, but you do see you have a Mumu coming on up. He does have his ult up. That could be huge, and if Dyrus got surrounded, that Mumu ult in combination with the Zyra could have actually gotten that kill, because TSM is still a little bit split, actually, because the rest of TSM is actually going and getting the dragon.
Yeah, they do get the dragon in the meantime, so they're able to continue on that pressure. Odd One has had that Oracles for quite some time. Just the entire game has been dominated by TSM map presence. So we'll see how how Curse can try and respond to this, because they are starting to get deeper into their builds. Zyra's kiting potential is very strong. So if they can kite out some of that damage from Reginald in particular, they can maybe throw off a snare, back off. Reginald wastes his ultimate, then that provides an opportunity for Curse to turn it around and win that fight.
Yeah, but Curse, we saw actually before with Reggie there, looking for that aggression down onto Mumu. Curse had to blow 2 ults just to cancel it and just try to equalize the power of Reggie with his just 1. But then again, also too, the longer the game goes on, look, there's a needlessly large rod once more onto Reggie. That's going to be going into death cap. That's going to be more damage. That's going to be even more problems to deal with later on.
So we'll see how they can continue to farm. Cop coming in the mid lane can pick up on some of the CS. Morgana in the meantime coming over will be able to pick up that blue. And Chaos and Rumble are continuing to split push. So TSM, they have the early advantages, but by split pushing, they're being very safe, and they're able to continue to shut down the carries while not having to force objectives, because it will be difficult for them against the AoE that Curse has to force any early objectives like Baron or Turret.
St. Vicious actually standing right out in front, is trying to hope for a bandage toss, something, anything, because at the very least he's like, oh, we have a one-man lead here in this fight. We can try and engage a 3v2 and maybe get something. But unfortunately, Reggie and Special, they do just decide to back off. Odd One laughing it up. Laugh it up, Robot Boy.
Yeah, so he's going to be very fine right there. Chaos, in the meantime, continuing the pressure on the bottom lane. And, everyone from TSM playing very safe right now with their lead. And they know how they can continue to push it. But we'll see. It is starting to get to that point in the game where TSM can start to group up. The bind almost hitting St. Vicious, but they will back off. Not sure if they had enough damage to take him down with his team there, but they will be pretty safe. And actually, Chaos waiting for Cop. Will Valkyrie over the wall, get some quick damage. Cop forced to flash.
The slow is just going to be a little bit too much to contend with. Cannot follow up on that. But Chaos also, the Valkyrie was down too, so he couldn't quite persona that. But there's plenty of pressure there.
Morgana, Reginald with the bind on the St. Vicious, and Nunu is there as well. St. Vicious slow flash out of there. He has to escape, but TSM, they're all grouped up in the bottom lane, waiting for Rumble to come down there, and Reginald is looking to pick someone off.
Anyway, even without Rumble, I think they have more than enough damage and more than enough ults.
Oh, Cyrus walking into Reginald.
Jackie does get caught. Reggie follows it up with the ult, and there you go. Quick kill, pop up. You have the passive, but quick for TSM, and that is again all that AoE. That's a bigger chunk of that AoE now gone. TSM can just exert even more pressure down here in his bot lane. They should be able to take out this tier 2 here in bot. St. Vicious, you do not want to be ulting in a situation like that. Is a huge disadvantage, but here comes the rest of the team though. He may try and get something, but he is bound. He cannot actually catch up. X-Special taking a huge chunk, but Odd One there to cover on in with the ult. The hook missing point blank, but West Race is still there right out in front, and Dyrus connecting with that one.
Yeah, Dyrus is going to be able to zone them off a little bit. They might actually decide to tank this. Cop is not with the rest of the team, so Dyrus coming in and trying to pick up the kills while Chaos is pushing in, and they are trying to take the turret elements with the bind. There it is, Chaos picking up the kill. They will go down. This turret is down as well, and St. Vicious in a very dangerous situation. Throws off his ultimate, but he's going to drop very quickly.
And you saw all of TSM, they're recognizing, guys, if we go in, if one of us starts taking tower, Mumu's going to ult, and we can actually take a whole bunch of damage. You have to do it from a distance, and there you go, Chaos with all of that poke from the back line, from just the right amount of distance away. Got those kills, allow for more pressure down to tier 2, and take that thing out.
Yeah, and the big thing for that was TSM with the early advantages that they have. They know that Chaos, he can easily push into that bottom turret, but then they had control of the jungle. So if anyone was going to try and stall off, then they would have to either walk through the jungle or walk up the lane. If they walk up the lane, Chaos will be very safe. He's going to be able to Valkyrie out of there. If they walk through the jungle, they're walking to their death. So TSM with the nice pressure. The blue is up once again, and this time X Special will not let them have it. He's looking for that hook. Nijaki in the meantime trying to get it.
He's going to wait for Nijaki to actually punched out nearly to death, and X Special's going to try and grab it from there. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, he hits the minion.
Oh!
Nijaki able to pick it up for himself. The seedling's doing a nice job.
Good job, Plants. You did something good. You did something good.
West Rice, he is in the bottom lane trying to farm, and this opens up an opportunity for Rumble to chase him down.
West Rice, he's a little bit too far out. Dyrus, is his ult up? It is. He's in the bush. West Rice now just realizing his folly, trying to get away, trying to get some juke. The slow coming on in. Dyrus should be able to 1v1 just fine. Wait for the pool. There you go. There's the damage, and it should be enough. Here comes the Ignite going down as well, waiting for the ult. Flash away from West Rice, trying to juke as much as he can. That's actually a lot of damage down onto Dyrus. The ult still actually hasn't been used. There you go, just for safe measure. You got it.
Yeah, so they picked that up, but in the meantime, it's Special and Reginald are pushing down the mid lane. There is some AoE damage from Pop and Nijaki, though, able to stall that off, but the turret is very low, and the odd one actually clearing up some of these wards will allow for that continued pressure. And Chaos in the top lane with the red buff. St. Vicious trying to recall, but Chaos will not allow him to. St. Vicious with the bandage toss gets some nice damage, but he's going to be able to take him down very easily.
There you go. The auto attack from Chaos will go ahead and do it. Also, this entire time, Dyrus has been shoving down the bot lane. Everyone's going to reunite, be a happy family here at the Baron. TSM can do it. They have the position. They've gotten the kills. And there's really not a whole lot that Curse can do to fight this.
Yeah, and the big thing with the mobility that TSM has, the Blood Boil on Initiator like X Special or Morgana will allow them to force this very easily. They bait out the fight, and they do see Nijaki. He throws off the snare, will have to back off. They have their own wards, so they're going to be safe there. But if Curse tries to defend this Baron, then TSM will very easily be able to force a fight. They have a fantastic initiation. Dyrus, in the meantime, pressuring that bottom lane once again. So Curse, they have to deal with that. Both Vladimir and Amumu are heading down there.
And Dyrus, look at how much damage Dyrus is actually building. He can actually, does he have enough to get that death cap? Yes, he does. He may just get it right there, and he indeed, with the death cap, Abyssal, Haunting Guys, you got the boots. Look at all that spell pen.
Yeah, no, he's incredibly strong right now. He's basically doing true damage to the entire Curse lineup. So in the meantime, Chaos grabbing that dragon, but we'll see how they can deal with that damage. But with how far TSM is ahead right now, they need to try and pick people off, and they need to try and stall. They have the CC with Amumu and with Nijaki to try and pick off individuals. However, TSM, they're going to start grouping up more and more as a team and deny some of those opportunities.
It is such a massive, huge lead right now that TSM has. So 14, it's like 14K.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can, how Curse can try and get back into this. Again, their late game is phenomenal. Once Cop finishes up that Phantom Dancer, it won't matter that he's so significantly far behind Aox, but we'll have to see, how they can continue to pressure this. In the meantime, TSM likely going to be pursuing the Baron again. They can bait it out. Like we said, they have the fantastic initiation when they can force the fight on Curse.
I want to know how many wards Odd One has actually cleared so far, because that is a lot. He has not died yet. He's had that Oracles consistently since he bought it. Elements, he has his own, but he did die once before. But you can only clear so much when you're forced into a defensive position like this. And you were saying earlier, TSM, they've done a fantastic job getting wards right in the perfect areas, in areas they want to pressure. Okay, we want to try and shove down bot. Let's get down good 3-4 wards just to make sure that we can get the jump on anybody. West Rice
way out of position.
But you know what? It doesn't matter if the bind hits. You have the rest of the team. It's a 5v1. West Rice is not getting out of here alive. Pool, wait for it. There you go.
Yeah, so they pick that up very easily, and now once again they can pursue that Baron. And actually, Nijaki and St. Vicious, they're in the bottom lane. They recognize they can't fight TSM right now,
yep.
so they're going to try and take this turret, get some advantages for themselves. But while they're doing this, TSM, they're going to grab the Baron. They can start to push in onto Curse.
Yeah, TSM should just, it's not an issue. The Baron is free. Amumu, St. Vicious trying to get a tower for the trouble. It's going to take a little while, but he will eventually get it. But TSM, with that Baron buff, they should be able to do a pretty huge move here.
And the big thing with that Baron buff is we talked about how Curse can stall out the pushes fairly easily with the range that they have and with the AoE clearing. However, the Baron regen, it will allow TSM to tank some of those turrets to avoid some of that poke damage. Chaos just taking down the top turret himself, so they have all the outer turrets except for the mid, and then they can continue to pressure that once they regroup as a team.
What Curse does have, though, they do have that AoE CC. If they can manage to get TSM in a whole bunch of CC while someone vital is tanking a turret, they can definitely try and turn around. They can get at least one kill on something. It's just a matter of where they're going to go ahead and take it from there. But I think TSM so far ahead, and with their skill, I don't think they're going to make those situations available to Curse at this point, especially after being so far ahead for so long, since pretty much minute 1.
Yeah, and this outer turret, it will go down fairly easily because of how low it is. They have to back off, not allow Special to hit those grabs. And so this next minion wave, TSM will be able to take that. The blind hook from Special, going for that minion, actually. So dropping the ward over the wall, picks that up. But even so, they come in the mid lane. And now Cop, he has the range where he can be pretty safe, but they still have to be cognizant of where Special is sitting.
Waiting for the minion waves to come out and try and start taking that damage. Cax out on the back. He's trying to just get as many missiles as he can. Just one stray missile. That's a lot of damage he's generating. Cop, but look at St. Vicious. He's got okay positioning right down there. The hook's not actually going to be getting anything over the wall, but Amumu, the positioning, they are waiting. Curse, they're waiting for TSM to go on in. They pretty much have one shot at this. Odd One will actually not catch St. Vicious there. Chaos, they're very close to discovering they found him. The plan has been blown. He's got no other option. St. Vicious going on in with the Elzira following it up as well. But West Rise does go down. The neutral coming in as well. Cop, he's weak. Had to burn the cleanse. Double kill coming on in for Chaos. He's trying to connect with everything we can. The hook not actually getting anything, but that is plenty of pressure. TSM 3 for free. They can go ahead and take out this tier 3 in mid, then get the inhibitor. They've got plenty of time to. They may actually just win it here.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take down the inhibitor. I'm not sure if they have enough time because some of them are kind of low. Nijaki can put on some pressure, but the turrets will drop extremely fast if they decide to go for this. Nijaki's stalling off a little bit, but we'll see if they can force this. They don't have any other options, so they're going in for the Nexus. It's going to drop very quickly. The bind of the Nijaki, the Special, they pick up the kill.
I think that might be it.
Has it. This is going to be a 3-0. They pick up the series, the grand finals. TSM
Everybody
are your champions.
Get Show's chance going. Let me hear it.
And TSM, they are the reigning champions for IPL, for any number of, for MLG, any number of these recent NA tournaments. Curse having a fantastic run, trying to shut them down, can't quite do it. And now we have the great sportsmanship. TSM going over, they will be the first place, so we'll have that award ceremony shortly, but really fantastic play. That last fight, Reginald, he dove into the middle of the team. He hit 4 members of Curse with his ultimate and almost instantly killed them.
Yeah, but with this, the positioning there from St. Vicious, that was a pure desperation attempt. Waiting in a bush, trying to get the engage, and if he wasn't found out, something may have actually happened there for Curse, but unfortunately, TSM they just had way too much map control. They can just go wherever they please, but really that game from minute 1, the aggressive invades on the jungle, winning every lane, just the great matchups. The game is all TSM.